Hi class, good morning. Welcome to our week 13 topic on e-commerce. Today, we're going to discuss about the e-commerce marketing and advertising concepts. In the field of our industry, the e-commerce has brought in a new idea, and this concept is growing quite rapidly, and it is almost putting an end to the conventional business techniques. It is used to identify the businesses that are run over the internet. It explains how the web technologies, such as the shopping carts, email, the online sites, the electronic data interchange, and the instant messaging are used by business. In addition to offering an easy way to exchange goods and services, the e-commerce has also provided the most secure and convenient way to carry out the transactions involved in that trade. So once a company wants to move into an e-commerce, it must first define and establish the factors that will help it sell its goods and services effectively through the internet. So the approaches will decide how the business will build its e-market structure, priorities, and resources in relation to demand. After these discussions, you are expected to identify how the customers behave online, identifies and describes the main technologies that support the online marketing, and understand the cost and benefits of the online marketing communications. There is a strong change in control from the marketers to customers because the users is empowered to make educated choices based on knowledge that is rapidly available on the internet. With the customers being the co-creators, marketers will also take up participatory or a personalized and a user-focused approach to success. Class, there are 5 steps that help us understand the internet audience. And one of them is understanding the Google Analytics. The Google Analytics tests the ROI of ads and tracks the flash, the videos, and the social networking sites and apps. The data from the Google Analytics is derived from the metrics for a link and a page. In 2005, the Google acquired Origin and created the Premium Web Analytics package. So the life changed for digital marketers. So this changed the way we work because we are no longer expended resources, which is simply attempting to increase our visitors. Instead, we could begin to understand them if your company is business to business or business to consumers. So it must be used in the conventions of monitoring. The tracking e-commerce also allows the data on the product's prices, the purchase date, and the billing locations to be obtained. The goal will provide the useful insights into the path that the user take to the desired location if it is set up with the optimal funnels. So this may be an inquiry form on a landing page for some value added content. And then we also have the hitting and scroll mapping. This comprises more about in the page activity, which is, however, can put an all-new perspective on what is valuable content. Through the hit mapping tools, we can gain the insights. There are many of the markets, such as the Crazy Egg, which is our favorite because it shows where everyone clicked, whether or not it was a connection we may compare the web and the mobile versions of the web with the Crazy Egg. So the menus and the site architectures usually can differ, so it is useful to understand how the audiences respond to both. So in addition, we can drill and see how the users from the different channels, browsers, including the new returning visitors, which interact with the sites. So we have the user testing. The user testing class is just being close to a digital project and the process of development, which can judge how the usable website is. Using a remote platform for a usability testing like what users do is a highly effective way to get the normal people to test a website. So the users do match the users with our chosen demographic, how old they are, their gender, and even their professions by verifying the people who subscribe to a set of or a test of websites. So the company Boost You just need to the 5 tests to fully understand the user behavior. And then we also have the user surveys. The user surveys or the online surveys are often used to collect feedback from the user's experience. A standard survey may consist of a series of questions and designed to determine the internet or a participant in case how they perceive their online experience. So the benefits of the online survey, which includes to meet much wider experience to the audience than the consumer's testing. So you should obtain a wider sample size. And then another benefits of the online survey is to have an appreciation of the experience of the end users and be able to change the online experience accordingly. So it is crucial that you know exactly what you want from the survey. The user survey will help measure the conclusions you made from the information gathered in steps 1 to 3. So, you should balance the questions in order to get a finite answer. And then we have the A or B testing. So, this is the final step to bring what you have learned from the research on the user's behavior into an action. So that doesn't mean that you're trying to interpret your website and building the whole experience or new experiences, significant changes that can be difficult to track. So you are worse positioned than you began. Using these tools, such as the Google Analytics and Crazy Egg, it is easy to assess the impact on the design of what, say, a change to a button or an introductions of the new color or a new menu item that it may have. The online consumer behavior process. I want you to look at the diagram, class. So in the search stage, they may be looking for the product reviews or the customer comments according to this figure. So they'll find out which brand or a company that best suited into their expectations. The well-organized website structure and attractive design during this stage are important things to persuade consumers to an interested uh, buying product or service. Plus, the stage 1 is the most useful characteristics of internet. So if that, it supports the pre-purchase stage as it helps the customers compare the different options. While the stage 2 During the purchasing stage, the product assortments, sales services, and information quality seem to be the most important point to help the consumers decide what product they should select or what seller they should buy from. And then we have the stage 3. Post-purchase behavior will become more important after their online purchase. So the consumers sometimes have the difficulty or concerns about the product, or they might want to change or return the product that they have bought. So therefore, the return and exchange services become more important at this stage. The factors of the online customers' behavior. The first element is to identify the factors that motivate the customers to buy the products or services online. So they are divided into two categories. We have the external factors and the internal factors. Plus, the external factors are the ones beyond the control of the customers. They can be divided into the 5 sectors such as the demographic, the socio-economic, the technology, the public policy, the culture, the subculture, the reference group, and marketing. While the internal factors, these are the personal traits of behavior, which includes the attitudes, the learning, the perception, motivation, and the self-image. While the functional motives relate to the consumer needs and include things like time, convenience of the shopping online, the price, and the environment of the shopping place and the selections of its product. While the non-functional motives relates to the cultural or social values like the brand of the store or the product. So these are the filtering elements. Using these 3 factors, security, privacy, trust, the customers filter their buying choices and divided on the final selections of stores they are willing to buy from. So they use the knowledge to filter their buying options through these factors. We have the security, the privacy, and the trust. Internet traffic patterns and the online consumer profile. So the business increases online marketing and advertising spending. We have the channel expansions in the social media and marketing, but search and display marketing remains the dominant. The mobile marketing and advertising grows at twice at the rate of the traditional marketing. It take off the local marketing and advertising on geolocation services. The video advertising continues to be one of the fastest growing formats. We have the search engine and advertising continues to its dominance. The technology. In technology, the mobile device challenged the PC as the major online marketing and advertising platform. So we have the big data. Online marketing produces an oceans of data challenging the business analytics program. We also have the cloud computing, which makes the content and multi-channel cross-platform a reality, and a valuable social customer relationship management tools. We also have the society. Behavioral tracking leads to growing privacy awareness and fears. Abusing the customer social network information without providing the sufficient user control over the profile distributions. We have the mobile GPS tracking of individual location information in the internet. Intensity and the scope of usage. Internet intensity is described as the incorporation of the internet into the company's international marketing activities and business processes, such as the marketing and advertising. We have the online sales and after-sales services. The internet has been shown to have the positive impact on the business international marketing activities through improved information awareness and network growth. So it has been shown that the internet has a positive influence on the company's information, the knowledge, the network development. We also have that the internet is the mainly use of international companies to search for the market information and develop the long-term relationship and indirectly affect the international performance by acquiring the new knowledge of the market. The internet usage class refers to the use of the internet technology by companies such as the email, the websites, the intranets, and the extranets of both customers and suppliers. Internet intensity is defined as a set of integration of the internet into the international marketing activities and business processes of the firm, such as the marketing and advertising. We have the online sales and the after-sales service. Plus, we have the demographics and access. The gender, this is a fairly equal percentage of men and women users. We have the age as the fast-growing online community now using the internet. We have the ethnicity as variation across ethnic groups are not as broad as those between the age groups. We also have the income level. Around 96% of the household with the new income rates above $75,000 have access to the internet compared to just 76% of the household earning less than $30,000. For education, for example, we have the digital divide, which has also moderate but still exists along the sides and dimensions of the employment, education, the age, and the ethnicity. Okay, these are the various factors which influences the behavior of consumers while buying, such as the culture, the social norms, the psychological factors, and background demographics factors. Plus, the culture along with the various other factors gives birth to the traditions, the values, the norms, and the attitudes of the client. So, it is part of every society and is major cause of the people's will and behavior. In assessing the impact of the culture on the buying behavior, the marketers are required to pay the utmost attention. Each culture is a mixture of the different subcultures, which including the nationalities, the geographical regions, the religions itself. We have the ethnic groups. So the subculture is a group of individuals with the common beliefs and patterns of behavior that are distinction from the subcultural communities surrounding them. So every society has some of the social class that important to the marketers because people's buying behavior is similar to a given social class. The social class can be defined as the division of the society with a similar interest among the members. The consumer social characteristics or the social norms are also recognized as a determinant. which is prominent influence on the consumer behavior. We have the reference groups, the family, the positions, and the status of the society are the important social factors. The reference group refer to a group of people that affects a person as an individual, is a member of that group, or wants to become a member of that group. So the different reference groups are the family members, the friends, the co-workers of the neighbor. We have the religious group, the professional group, the aspirations group. And then we also have the psychological factors that affecting the consumer's behavior, which includes the motivation, the perceptions, the learning attitudes that can be explained as the desire generated by unsatisfied need. So the psychological factors affecting this consumer behavior include the motivation, the perception, the learning, and the attitude that can be explained as the desire that generates by that so-called unsatisfied need that I have mentioned earlier. So when the need intensity is very high, it becomes motive. The decision as the quantity of the information to be searched for and the size of the expenditure to be made on the commodity brand. It's store of the consumer goods which affects the behavior of the buyers or the motives of the buyers. The perceptions of the commodity leads to thinking and analysis to lead in practice. Thus, perceptions plays the important role in communicating the specific action toward the commodity being purchased. The consumer learning is a continuum mechanism hereby or whereby a customer is learning something, something that is new on a regular basis. What a customer has observed from the world or a previous experience is contributing factor to the product's purchasing behavior. So the attitude determines everybody's life, and it affects how everybody responds to a certain people, things, or events and reacts to them. So by analyzing its attitude, a marketer gets the great help in knowing the consumer reaction as the consumer's attitude puts its effect on the use of the pattern and consumption frequency and also the customer preference. The consumer skills class refers to the knowledge consumers have about. So this increases the experience, how to conduct the online transaction, and then we also have the product characteristics, which refers to the idea that's certain. The clickstream behavior also refers to the transaction lag as defined by the consumers. They travel across the web from a search engine to a range of pages, then to a single site, then to the single page, and finally to purchasing decisions, goods that can be easy to use. So those are the factors that influences the behavior of the consumers while buying. Plus, these are the references that we use for this week topic. So you may visit those sites and read those references for additional informations. Thank you and good day. God bless.